Welcome back to the deep dive. Ready to explore something incredible?
Always.
Today we're diving into quantum computing.
Oh, yeah. It's been generating a ton of buzz lately, hasn't it?
It has, and you all sent in a fascinating mix of sources.
hmm
Articles, research papers, even some opinion pieces. It's clearly a hot topic with the potential to change, well, everything.
And what's so captivating is that it's not about speeding things up. It's a whole new way of looking at computing.
Right, like a completely different approach.
Totally. It taps into this bizarre world of quantum mechanics.
Okay, so let's break this down for our listeners. Most people understand the basics of computers.
Mm.
Like bits, those tiny switches that are either on or off, representing a 1 or a 0.
Right, the classic binary system.
But with quantum, things get, well, a little weird.
Right.
Definitely a bit stranger. Instead of bits, we have these things called qubits. And get this, a qubit can be both 1 and 0 at the same time.
It's called superposition, where a quantum system can exist in multiple states simultaneously. It's mind-bending stuff. Even Einstein struggled with it.
Wow, I can imagine. But how does superposition actually give quantum computers more power? What can they do that a regular computer can't?
Okay, imagine searching for a file on your computer. A normal computer would have to go through each file one by one until it finds the right one. But a quantum computer, thanks to superposition, it can search all the files at the same time.
So it's like having a search engine that instantly finds exactly what you need. No more scrolling through pages of results.
Exactly. And that's just one example. Quantum computers can tackle problems that would take classical computers, even the most powerful ones, practically forever. Things like simulating complex molecules for drug discovery or breaking the encryption that protects our data online.
Okay, now we're talking real-world impact. Breakthroughs in medicine, cybersecurity, the possibilities seem endless.
Absolutely. And we're already starting to see glimpses of these applications. For instance, in finance, imagine quantum algorithms analyzing massive amounts of data, predicting market trends with incredible accuracy. It could completely revolutionize how we invest.
That's huge for anyone planning for their future, right? And from the sources you shared, it seems like healthcare is another area ripe for disruption.
Absolutely. Picture this. Quantum simulations analyzing how proteins fold, a task that's super complex for classical computers. This could help us understand diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, potentially leading to new treatments, even cures.
So even though quantum computing is still in its early stages, we can already see its potential. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's going to change the world as we know it.
It is incredibly exciting, but we need to be mindful, right? There are challenges and potential downsides, especially when it comes to something like cryptography.
Right, the potential for quantum computers to crack the codes that protect our information online. Cybersecurity experts are definitely concerned.
As they should be. The same power that can lead to medical breakthroughs could also be used to break the encryption that protects our financial data, personal information, even national secrets.
That's a sobering thought. So as we dive deeper into this world of quantum computing, we need to understand both the opportunities and the risks. Who's leading this development? What challenges are they facing? And how can we prepare for a future shaped by quantum computing? So we've got this incredibly powerful technology, right? The potential to disrupt just about everything. But who's actually building these quantum computers? Our sources mention quite a few players.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You've got these big tech companies, the giants, and these innovative startups all racing to reach, well, they call it quantum supremacy.
Quantum supremacy.
Yeah, you've got companies like IBM, Google, Microsoft. They're pouring resources into this, developing hardware, software, the whole thing. They've already made some really impressive strides, but then you've also got these smaller players like Rigetti and IonQ pushing boundaries in their own way.
So what exactly is quantum supremacy? Is it just about building the biggest, most powerful quantum computer?
It's a bit more nuanced than that. It's about reaching a point where a quantum computer can perform a task that's just impossible for any classical computer to do in a practical time frame.
Yeah.
Proving the power of quantum computing. Google actually claimed they achieved this back in 2019 with their Sycamore processor.
Oh, right. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, there was some debate about it, though.
Makes sense. Sounds like a very competitive field, though, which is probably driving things forward pretty quickly. But our sources also highlight some pretty big challenges in quantum computing. It's not all smooth sailing, is it?
Oh, definitely not. One of the biggest hurdles is, well, keeping those qubits stable. They're incredibly sensitive. Quantum systems, they're delicate.
Delicate how?
Even the tiniest interference can cause errors. They call it decoherence.
Huh. So it's almost like, imagine trying to build a computer out of soap bubbles. Incredibly fragile, easy to disrupt.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So how do researchers even begin to address that?
Well, they're working on some really clever techniques for error correction, essentially building in redundancy to compensate for these, well, inevitable errors. It's like having a backup generator, that kicks in when the power goes out.
That makes sense. But even with all that, building and maintaining these quantum computers has to be unbelievably expensive, right? Like how long until this is something more widely available?
That's the million-dollar question. And while we've seen amazing progress, widespread access is still a ways off. I mean, these things require incredibly specialized equipment, expertise. They're costly to build, costly to run. Right now, it's really just a handful of research labs and companies that can actually get their hands on them.
So for the average person, quantum computing is still pretty much a distant concept. But let's say we fast forward a decade or two. What could the world look like once quantum computers become, I don't know, more commonplace?
The predictions are definitely exciting. Some experts believe that by, say, the 2030s, commercial quantum computers could be powerful enough to revolutionize so many industries. Think pharmaceuticals, materials science, logistics, even artificial intelligence.
Okay, so paint me a picture here. What would a quantum-powered future actually look like, in practical terms?
Imagine a world where new drugs are developed in a fraction of the time, right? We can design materials with properties we've never even dreamed of. Traffic flows smoothly because AI has optimized every single route. And personalized medicine, tailored to your unique genetic makeup, that becomes the norm.
Okay, now that's a future I can get behind.
Me.
But as with any powerful technology, there are those potential downsides, right? We talked about cybersecurity risks. Anything else? Ethical considerations, perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. As quantum computing becomes more powerful, more accessible, we have to ensure it's used responsibly and ethically. There are concerns about potential job displacement as AI gets more sophisticated, the potential for bias in algorithms, even the question of who will have access to this technology and its benefits.
It sounds like we're in uncharted territory here. Incredible opportunities, but also some serious potential pitfalls.
Exactly. It's crucial to have these conversations now while the technology is still developing. We need to make sure we're shaping a quantum future that benefits all of humanity.
So knowing that this is going to impact all of us in some way, what can our listeners do to, well, prepare for this quantum leap?
The most important thing is to stay informed, stay engaged. There are fantastic resources available online, from introductory courses to some really in-depth research papers. Don't let the jargon scare you. There are plenty of materials out there that break down quantum computing in ways anyone can understand.
So it's like learning a new language almost.
Uh,
The more you immerse yourself, the better equipped you'll be to really understand the implications and the potential impact on your life, your work, everything.
Absolutely. And, if you're feeling ambitious, learning a programming language like Python, which is widely used in quantum computing, could be a really valuable investment. It's a skill that's only going to be more and more in demand as the field grows.
It feels like we've just scratched the surface here, and it's already mind-blowing. The potential to change the world is incredible.
It really is. We've talked about the breakthroughs we could see, medicine, finance, material science, even AI. But we have to remember, this is still early days.
Yeah, it's like the internet in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
We're just starting to see what might be possible.
Exactly. The real revolution, it's still coming.
Wow, that's exciting to think about. A whole new era of technology.
Mhm.
But like with anything new, there are going to be some bumps in the road.
Right. Oh, for sure. Challenges ahead. Maintaining those qubit things, scaling up the computers themselves, figuring out how to actually use them to solve real-world problems. And like we've talked about, the ethical side of it all. That can't be ignored.
It's true. Technology is never neutral. It's a reflection of us, the choices we make, our values. So as we wrap up this deep dive into quantum computing, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just be aware of it, right? We have to be a part of shaping how this technology develops, making sure it's used for good.
So here's a question for everyone listening. What role do you want to play in this quantum revolution? Will you be watching from the sidelines, or will you be helping to shape the future with this incredible technology?
It's a choice we all have to make. Do we embrace the challenges, the opportunities, or do we shy away from the unknown?
Whatever you choose, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge to navigate the exciting world of quantum computing. It's a journey that's just beginning.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, stay curious, stay engaged, keep exploring.
Until next time on The Deep Dive.